Hello, what is up, you guys? It's Ironheart. Welcome to... What is this?
We might discover a dead body for real down there, or a dead cow. We can't know for sure.
Do they have ADHD?
Let your hair down. For those of you who don't know, I'm gonna run through this very quickly. Ethan and I are childhood best friends. We started making videos together in high school, and for the last 10 years almost, we've been making short films.
We just grew closer in our friendship. In fact, he was my best man at my wedding.
And after we graduated, we formed Mark Rodney Entertainment.
Ethan, Mark DeLeon, Brody Rodney Bowman, Mark Rodney Entertainment, for those of you who don't know.
And we've had the dream for a very long time of making our first feature film. There it is.
This series is documenting the behind the scenes of creating our first feature film.
They call me the Riz Queen. For those who don't know me, I'm Ironheart. I've been doing content for 4.5 years now, I think.
So after I wrote the movie as a small independent film, we had the idea of collaborating with some sort of content creator or social media influencer and having them star in the movie.
In our search, I was going through a bunch of different pages and I found this one name that stood out to me. I was like, wait a second. No way this is the same person that I know. And her name is Jenna Frank. I think she was a youth leader for my sister's youth group at church like a long time ago. Brody and I were on the phone during this and my reaction was real time with him. I saw the name. I almost couldn't believe that it was actually a name that I recognized. And Brody's like,
what are you talking about? You don't know. You don't know anybody on IMDb Pro right now. How would you know who that is?
I was like, no, dude, I clicked on the picture and I'm pretty sure it's her.
And I said, if that's true and you actually know who she is, you need to call her right now.
I was like, right now? You want me to call her right now? He's like, yeah, call her. Like, we have to call her. We got to shoot our shot. So I did. And of course, the worst, most terrifying thing happened. She answered.
Hello?
She remembered Ethan, thank goodness, and his family. A few weeks later, she joined the project, and she is now a producer on the film.
So it was actually through this connection that we were introduced to Ironheart.
Hello, what is up, you guys? It's Ironheart, and welcome back to my channel. Well, it was my friend Cole who reached out to me first that, hey, there's like a potential movie for you. And I'm like, oh, are you serious? For me? Bro, I'm not an actor. Why are you telling me that? And then Brody and Ethan came.
We jumped on a Zoom call. We talked to her about the project.
We told her about the movie, we told her about the vision for the fundraiser and collaborating together to make this feature film.
And she shared that she had a desire to get into acting.
Hi guys, this is Ironheart and I have a dream. My dream is to become an actor.
She seemed excited and we were like, maybe she actually wants to do this.
I did the audition. I was actually so nervous doing the audition because it's my first time. I feel like I'm gonna get nervous and then forget about the lines.
So she read with me. We read some scenes from the script just to see if she had the acting chops.
I'm so sick of it. You need to start caring about people and stop caring what they think.
And after, they said that I was great. And I'm like, yeah, I am.
And we thought to ourselves, this is the best actress we've ever seen.
We were very impressed, we were very excited, and we ended up offering her the role not too much longer later.
And I was so happy about it. I remembered crying, tears of joy. My therapist was like, go and record yourself right now. And you can go back looking at it, that this is what makes you happy.
It will be the best thing that will ever happen to me, so this is my dream. This is what I want. You guys will see me in big screens.
It didn't even really cross our mind how difficult it might be to bring someone into the country as an actor specifically for a feature film. Newsflash, immigration is complicated. And this began a long journey of learning for Brody and I. The first and most obvious attempt was to try to get her into the US. That's where our connections are. We have an infrastructure. So the reality was that Brody and I were actually preparing these documents and these packets to submit to the US government ourselves. We're filmmakers, not lawyers. And unfortunately, this began the season of no's.
We got rejected the first time, so already we were like, oh, man, this is tough. So we doubled down, we did another O1B visa application, we sent it back. We got rejected again. We started looking into alternate options. Would it be possible to go to Ironheart in Canada? Could that be done? So I got on a meeting with a lawyer who works with big movie productions moving from the United States to Canada. Didn't go so well. I kind of got laughed out of the room.
When you have legal professionals laughing you out of an office, it makes you feel like maybe I don't fully understand. We hit a point where it just began to feel impossible to bring her into the country. Brody, Jenna, and I jumped on a Zoom call and were prepared to tell Ironheart that it's over. We don't know how to continue.
But in that moment, Ironheart said she had an idea, and obviously we were all ears to listen.
She was not ready to give up yet.
I said to myself that I have to try again, because I have to.
And unfortunately, it was rejection and rejection. Maybe one rejection is fine. You know, we can try again, we can look at different options, but 2, then 3, then 4. And now we're starting to see the effects on Ironheart. It's not just affecting us, it's affecting her.
At that point, I told myself, oh, maybe it's not for me. Maybe I'm not supposed to go get this acting dream.
What, we just can't get in the country and that's it? Like, that's the end? It's the end of the whole story?
I remembered calling Brody. I was just crying.
Obviously, we want to be able to help you too. If there's something we can do for you, even if it's not give you this role.
You know, it didn't just feel like we were letting ourselves down and like losing our opportunity at this dream we'd been pursuing. It also felt like we were letting her down.
I got this letter.
I think that passion that Ironheart brought to the table ignited something in Brody.
There has to be a way. There has to be a way to figure this out. And that's when the Canada option resurfaced. And I thought, there's just enough hope here. We have to look into it a second time.
Brody and Ethan thought that we should do it in Canada instead.
I think personally, I was almost waiting to be told that it wasn't going to work, but we were told basically the opposite, that this seems like a very viable option. So again, we owed it to ourselves, we owed it to Ironheart, that we had to give it a try.
When they said that, I was so excited that, oh, we're still doing it and it's gonna be in Canada.
We prepared all of our paperwork, listened to all the legal advice that we were getting. We also kidnapped John Young to come along and help us with the project. Shout out, John, thanks for helping.
So my experience personally on the journey.
All this rejection, and now we had this final last plan, go to Canada. We don't have anything else. There is no plan B. If we don't get across the border and this doesn't work, we don't have a movie. We're about to go up to the little checkpoint here, the port of entry, as they say, and we'll see what happens. Do you have your passport?
Right here, ready to go. But we knew it wasn't gonna be easy. We had everything prepped, but our case is very unique because we're not hired by a Canadian employer and yada, yada, yada. We knew it was gonna take some explaining at the immigration offices. Brody and I approached the border, crossed the very cool bridge, and we had the car checked. They opened up every bag and asked us a ton of questions. It was now time for our third checkpoint and present our packets that we prepared to an immigration officer to have them review and either approve or deny our work visa. This was the moment of truth.
And he calls us up to the counter. Ethan, Brody, come over here for a second. Okay. We get up and go over to the counter. We were trying to talk it through, and he's like, well, let me get on the phone with your lawyer. And after talking to our lawyer, they came to the same consensus. We were missing something that was very important to the C-10. The C-10 was not going to be approved. So yet again, we get rejected. But our resilience kicked in, and we're like, we're not giving up yet. They said that the reason we couldn't get in was because we had too much equipment. Let's try to unload some of it, and let's go back.
So now that we've stashed all of our gear, we've already been rejected once, we're worried about what it's gonna look like going back the same day. It's like 11 o'clock p.m. now at this time.
All right, so as you know, at this point, we failed round one. It's now nightfall. Bridge looks a little different. It's cool though. Cool to see it at night. Got to see it during the day and at night. There are some advantages to being rejected. rejected at the border. But we're going for round 2, baby.
Brody and I are on our way to the border. John's driving on his own, and then we get a text from John. Bro, I think I made it, LOL. Brody and I look at each other, no way. You would know if you made it. I mean, they would probably tear your car apart, and we were prepping him for all the questions, and no, sure enough, he was in.
And we get to the border, and when I tell you it was the fastest and easiest process, we like waited to celebrate. We looked at each other like, is this real? Is this happening?
We made it.
We did it. We got through. We're in Canada, baby. Thank you, Jesus. It genuinely feels surreal, and it's a little emotional to actually physically be in Canada right now.
I want this so bad, and now it's happening.
Now that we have the team, we're all here, we can be in the same country at the same time after a year of efforts to do so. We need our community to come in the clutch.
We're trying to make this movie happen, and we are raising $150,000. Any amount you give will make this dream a reality. But if you can give $150,000, that's better. The link is in the description box below. Support your girl's dream.